Well, good morning.
Well, good morning, Robert. Thank you for your time, man. I really appreciate you joining me today. Who do I have with me today?
Robert Berganza.
Berganza?
Uh-huh.
Is that
Spanish pronunciation.
Spanish?
Yeah, my dad's from Guatemala.
Guatemala. Oh, wow. Shows you how much I know. I was thinking Italian, but I don't know.
Most people guess Italian. So my dad's from Guatemala, born and raised, and he came here when he was 18. My mom is as pale white as could be, and I think I came out looking Italian.
And where's she from?
Maryland.
Oh, she's
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can't go wrong with that.
English, Irish, and Scottish.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Mine's a Scottish and English. Burns.
Yeah.
Remember the old Robert Burns, the poet? I did my ancestry. He's a great uncle.
Oh, yeah?
The famous poet. Old Lang Syne. Remember that at New Year's?
Yeah.
He wrote that.
Oh, okay.
So that's in my blood. I was like,
Okay.
heck yeah. So, Robert Berganza,
Uh-huh.
and your woodworking, as I know you, is what do you call it? What do you call it?
I do furniture, and I've been making these like home and gift accessory, smaller products, and it's just
Master woodworking?
I'm just designing. I'm designing pieces and products and these different things, and of course, I got my start just setting up a wood shop, like a therapeutic hobby. And that's how I stumbled into, I guess, when I started, I didn't know what to expect. I thought I'd make some old jewelry boxes or something. It was the first thing I did that just like it clicked.
It did.
When somebody talks about, this person's a natural, that didn't mean anything to me before.
Oh, okay.
And then I did this and it clicked. And that was initially in the craft of just thinking of seeing something somebody else had made and just kind of looking at it and understanding how I would make that thing. And I did. I watched
Curiosity got you.
Right. I read some books and I watched some YouTube videos on how other people were making these things. And so I did my share of studying, but it was the first time where I would look at something that, like I said, that somebody else made, and I remember, oh yeah, I remember that technique, and I remember seeing that, and if I put those together, that's how this is made. And so that was a surprise to me. And then a bigger surprise than that, once I learned and worked in the craft of making things that I had seen, just recreating maybe something from a picture, it was the first time I started having these like creative ideas where the design for something new would kind of pop in my head. And being that my whole life, I would have said, I'm not creative. That's not something I have.
You found some talent in you.
I might be meticulous or linear or these different things, but creative isn't one of them. And then I got into this idea of crafting these things to almost a maybe obsessive level. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I started getting these creative ideas for designs of things to make. And then I remember making the one, and then I got a new idea, making another, have a new idea. And so at this point, at this stage, I don't know where this creative talent that I stumbled into is going to take me. I just know.
Yeah. You're enjoying yourself?
At some point after discovering this, I just knew, I don't know where this is coming from, but this must be what I'm
just
supposed
embrace
to do.
It. Yeah. I've seen your works around town. Remember we talked about how I had seen a table and I couldn't remember it?
Yeah.
I think I remembered it. Do you have the table that was at the cruise bank?
No.
Right here?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
But I did see in Catapult when you were making that really big one.
Was it the round one?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
so you make big things, you make tables, You make
So
small things. You make all kinds of
conference tables,
conference things.
executive desks, um, a dining table, a reading chair, down to, if you saw that birdhouse that doesn't really look like a
I
birdhouse,
don't remember it.
and then the little gift box that opens into
Now
the two
that
halves.
one and the swan ornament.
The swan, the swan ornament that we made the one last year, and it was like this origami inspired, like a sitting all
Yeah.
wood swan, and then
Those are going to be collector's items. You understand? I got mine from last year. I'm going to get mine from this year. You're starting a trend of people collecting those swans every year.
And this year, it's a flying swan with a bent brass body that's been kind of grinded and polished into shape with the wooden wings, with the inlay on it, on the wingtips. And so that's more combining the woodworking with now playing more in brass and metals. And so, like I was saying a minute ago.
So your medium doesn't have to be just wood. Your medium can be anything.
I don't know where all this will take me.
That's the beauty of it.
I'm looking forward to, and particularly into this year coming up, I'll be working in expanding kind of what the product, what the pieces are made of, and what types of, I think over this, over the last year, these new smaller products have come out. And then over the next year, I plan to expand on that. And
everyone's handmade by you.
I mean, they're handmade. The large, the commissioned furniture pieces, handmade by me in there. And then looking ahead to the future, well, I don't know exactly how it will look and how it will play out. My goals are into, I guess, what I would call, and this is just, this is a name, or I don't know what you call it, but what I've come up with is the more sculptural furniture. You look at it and it's
unique.
It's unique. It's
one
more
of a kind.
It's more than its functional use. And I think for the most part, when you see something that one of the pieces I've created,
I've seen your stuff. I said, I know that.
It stands out, and it just has, they should have these design elements that, if you've seen the way I like kind of this simplicity, but it's refined, and there's usually this sense of balance in the piece, whether in the style or like literally. If you look at, do you see the coffee table that has the prism? One is upright, one's upside down.
Oh yeah.
And the weight of the glass balances that piece. It's things like that.
And you said you thought of that one? You came up with that? That is incredible.
I was one day that this was weird to me because I grew up never thinking I was creative, didn't think I had this in me. And then I got to talking to artists, and it turns out that this is kind of part of life, but it wasn't for me. But that day, I was thinking about, I wanted to make a coffee table. I wanted to make something unique. And I'm there, I'm sketching out idea after idea, and it's not really getting anywhere, but I just was thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it. And I fell asleep that night, and I woke up from a dream of that table. It was 3 a.m. I got out a notepad, and I drew it out and went back to sleep. And then woke up the next day and say, okay, that's it. I don't know where it came from, but
that is fantastic.
That idea was at least
one of the early ones?
90%. It was one of the early ones, and it was at least 90% done. I might have refined some slight detail to it, but that was 90%. The image was there. It was done. Waking up from a dream.
Is that on your website?
It is.
It is? Yeah. What is your website?
My full name.com, robertberganza.com.
Robertberganza.com. So if someone wants a commission and they can see your works, they can go there and see them?
Yep. And then Instagram is updated the most often, by far. So there are some things that are on the social media page that may not have made it to the website, but you could still get a really good idea from the website kind of the look, the style of the brand.
That is fantastic. Well, let me ask you this. I know you've taken over Lakeland with your work. I know how good your work is. Thank you again. What's the farthest way at this moment that you've received a commission
So
geographically?
far, it's been local still. As far as what was it? Winter Garden.
Okay.
Might be the farthest piece.
Well, I know, I can sense it. You're going to be world famous, and you're going to get commissions from all over the world. I can see it. And I now know that it's
you're
right. Maybe this will be the video people see everywhere. No, so you got started with an idea that came through you in a dream. And what's in the future, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I want to continue the momentum, the growth of what I would call the sculptural pieces, and those are individual commissions that I am, I'm right there. I'm making the piece and very involved in, and then I want to continue the growth as well in the small products that I would call maybe the designer gift and accessories kind of area of the business, where that specifically, those would be pieces that I've designed the product, I've designed the process to make the product, and then that's a process that I'm able to then teach to a woodworker or a craftsperson. One of those things is that you will be seeing products coming out, I believe, over this next month in 2024.
All right.
That may not be wood at all. Ideas with folded and shaped, almost like draped brass, almost like you treat it like cloth, heat it up, melt it, almost like it was fabric.
Wow.
You have to wait and see what that actually means as a product.
Okay, it'd be exciting. Thank you.
So the goals would be the sculptural side, and I do have a conversation that, again, hopefully in 2024, it will be a large outdoor public sculpture that is made not of wood, made. Well, you just have to. Wow. We'll have to see it come through.
Thank you for sharing that.
But sculptural pieces like that, the sculptural furniture, really getting artistic and bold in those, and then the designer products that, because I'm able to design the product, I'm able to design the process and then teach that process. I'd like to be able to keep those, even though maybe a little more expensive for what it is because it is handmade locally. I like the idea of having a line of products that are a little bit more accessibly priced. Like the ornament, for example. For an ornament, being $36 isn't on the cheap end of an ornament, but the way the furniture pieces are made,
yes,
what they're made of, the time it takes to make them, they are, by necessity, it's a higher budget item.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. The quality makes up for it.
Right, and there's just no way to make what I want to make at the level I want to make it at a price point that's as accessible. And so I like that with the ornaments. There's a lot of people who have followed the work for a long time who aren't necessarily going to commission one of these furniture pieces, but they can get an ornament. They can get something.
Now's the time, because before you get too famous and your prices get out of the...
I'd like to keep those. I would
always maintain something.
I would like to keep them intentionally accessible. There may be a whole line of products that are much higher budget. But I'd like to have
access. Everyone can have access, no matter what your means are.
Right.
Having access to a Robert Berganza piece.
Right.
That's ideal.
And the only way the way to make that happen is for me to design the product, design the process, and be able to hand off that process. So even though I may not personally hand make each one, it's right there. It's in the shop. I know that it's going to be.
That's fantastic.
It's going to be right. It's going to be something that's unique. If somebody sees that ornament in a tree full of ornaments that I think it's unique. I think it stands
Absolutely,
out.
I'm 100%. And
Hmm.
do you do your work over? I know you're at Catapult. You've been to
Hmm.
Catapult in the basement and all that,
Yeah,
where you have access to the tools.
yeah.
You're a staple in our community. You know that, Lakeland. You are a staple, man. That is fantastic. Just so grateful to have you on here, man.
Well, thank you.
I appreciate it. Is there anything else?
I think that's what you're going to see over the next year. Some of those new things, and um,
Be
working.
excited for a sculpture that may be coming
I think
in a
that would be
different
pretty
medium.
fun. I think that would be pretty
I
fun
look
to
forward to it.
see. Uh, yeah,
Fantastic. Well, Robert, thank you for your time. I
yeah,
appreciate it. And maybe we can do this again next year, and we'll see where we're at and compare the two.
that'd be fun. Should have brought some pieces like show and
That's
tell.
okay. Now it gives them an excuse to go to robertberganza.com.
Yeah, or come stop by Catapult and come see that we have the ornaments in production right now. And just for the fun of it, if you want to see how they come together, it's it's been interesting. So many things that I've been learning on how how to make a process to produce a product.
Right.
Um, so we have that swan. It has that brass body. I created um, this template to put into a press it into the shape of a body, and then it gets sanded. It's an interesting process that goes
You need to
into
make
this
a
little.
video of it. Make a videotape that and release it, and people will see it and appreciate it. Make a short, less than 1 minute video. This is this, and that. Because the internet is expanding everybody's connection,
Yeah,
all you got to do is have one person in Europe see your thing and say, I'm going to order it, man. It's like free advertising for the world,
yeah.
especially when you got as high quality as you have. That's incredible. Have a fantastic day. God bless you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Robert.